All right, let's call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith. Gustafson.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
J.R. Smith.
Here.
Brabner. Here. Mayor.
Here, our invocation will be led by our city attorney, Mr. David Connor. If you please rise.
Father, we thank you for everything you give us, and we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the privilege and blessing of living in this country, in this state, and in this city. And Father, we've observed in this last work session all of the activities that are going on, the programs that are being provided, the community activities that are being provided, and we just realized amongst ourselves how blessed we are. And we're thankful for you loving us. We're thankful for you providing for us at every level. Father, I thank you for each person that's here, that's elected and placed in a position of authority, and ask that you give them wisdom to make the decisions that are right for this community. And Father, as we just passed Memorial Day, and as we reflected upon the freedoms that we exercise and the high cost of that freedom. Freedom is not free. We thank you for each person, family, that give of their time, treasure, and some their life to protect the freedoms that we exercise and oftentimes take for granted. So, Father, we ask that you bless them, bless this day, bless this meeting, and bless this community. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Ask for the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, work session May 20, 2024, and the regular meeting May 20, 2024. Are there any corrections? If not, stand approved as written. Committee reports, Ms. Gaines.
No report, sir.
Mr. Connor.
No further reports.
Lieutenant Sarubin.
Nothing to report, sir.
Chief Few.
I do want to let everyone know that we kicked off our Kids Fire Safety Camp today. It runs all week. We have 40 kids, first grade through fifth graders, and we had a really interesting day with them today. They learned about fire operations and things of that nature. Tomorrow we will be here at City Hall participating in the library's kickoff to summer reading program, and we have some other items that we'll be doing, but we'll be here tomorrow.
Chief, what time is your event here tomorrow?
We start about 8:30.
All right. Mr. Burrows.
No report.
Mr. Raines.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you, thank you. Absolutely, Ms. Brabner.
The 3-Meal Committee, which is the committee that spends the money that we receive from the 3-meal tax increase that goes into our schools. We met last week or the week before, I can't remember now. And John Wilson, who's the CFO for the school board, projects $1.32 million in revenue for this committee to spend in our schools for next school year. We presented we approved what the teachers, what the principals had submitted. So the next step is for that to go to the Board of Education for them to approve, for the school board to approve.
Mayor, do you have a list of those? I know typically, or at least in years past, I think we sort of, not that it matters if we bless them or not, but I think we'd all be interested in knowing what it's being spent on if somebody could help us with that.
I do, but I don't have it with me today.
That's fine.
So I can get it and I'll forward it in an email to y'all. The bulk of what the money is being, if there was one line item where the most percentage is going to, it's in tutors in the schools and getting these children that are below grade level up to grade level. COVID greatly impacted those kids and how they learn, and so we're getting them up to speed. And then there's some really exciting STEM programs and STEAM programs and things that I'm learning all the acronyms about. But I'll get y'all all the, well, once the school board approves it, then we'll get it to everybody, and then Tracy will come and make a presentation.
there's still a lot of intervention teachers in there as well? Through the tutors, and, okay, gotcha.
Well, there's no doubt that was that 3 meals was a blessing to our schools because we're able to do so much, and you've seen the results. And Lord, when did we pass that? Does anybody know how many years it's been now? Because it was a 10-year window.
18?
I think it's like 4.
17 or 18, 'cause we had
Has
like
it been
one
6
year.
years already?
The first year was, and then we had COVID, so.
Well, what we witnessed, graduation, a lot of those capstones, that was originally funded from that first year when I was leading it. But the other thing too, I had an opportunity to meet with Dr. Smith when we were talking about junior council one time, and she took me through their Hall of Fame, and the amount of 30-plus ACT scores is through the roof in that school. So a lot of really, really good stuff comes from that 3 mil.
Thank you, Mary. Carl, you have anything on junior council? I know it's sort of off-season for you.
Yeah, it's off season. We're just looking forward to it. We've got a good group that we're going to be talking about tonight, announcing tonight, and I'll be looking forward to working with them on the upcoming year.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll open up the floor for public participation. If you'd like to address the council, now is your chance to do it. We will have some public hearings tonight, so if you're here for a public hearing, this is not the time for that. And I'm not sure, because we typically don't have a crowd here. So it's refreshing to see folks, to be honest with you. But if you're here for public hearing, you'll have the opportunity during the public hearing. But if you have anything else, if you'd like to address it now, please come forward to the microphone, hit the speak button, and give us your name and address.
My name is Benson Ross. I'm here for David's Catfish House. We are located at 10810 Highway 31. I'm here because of the road project, so I don't know if I need to address now or later.
Now is a good time, Vincent.
Okay. Most of you probably know we've been in business here for 25 plus years, counting the old location by CVS. And, you know, we're proud to be a part of this community, and it's been good to us, and we appreciate the support we've had from the community in the city. With that being said, we are extremely worried about the work that's going to take place short term. We know long term it'll be great for us, but you know, from what I've read about the project and the way the traffic is going to work about rerouting around to Old 31, I mean, it's going to be disastrous for us because, you know, our business is unlike some of the other businesses on 31. Well, you know, it's not you know, a lot of the other businesses there, they just don't do, the nature of our business is different, and we rely on that road for most of our business. And, you know, we're estimating short term at least while it's a 1-lane road, 25 to 40% decrease in business is what we're guessing. We don't know, but I think 25% would be a low guess on that. And you know, we are not designed to withstand that for a long period of time, or not you know, I don't think any business can withstand that kind of loss of revenue for a long term. We have 30 plus employees there. You know, they have expressed concerns. Our servers are, you know, they rely heavily on tips for their income. You know, we're going to need help through this time period. I'm not sure how it's going to go because it hadn't started. I know you guys probably don't know either as far as, you know, how it's going to affect people's patterns. But I feel like, you know, our customers are older. I would say on average our customers are 55 plus probably. And, you know, they're going to avoid, you know, traffic that's gonna put them in a stressful situation. And I think it's gonna be a very stressful situation traveling down 31 either direction with this taking place because of the amount of traffic that's on that road. I guess, you know, the questions I have is how long is it gonna be a one-lane road, first of all? And then what's gonna happen when after the one-lane road, it changes, is it gonna change back to 2 lanes? And, you know, is there a, you know, this is gonna be like a disaster for us, pretty much, you know, and I don't know if there's, I know it's a state-funded and a federal-funded project, mostly federal-funded. And is there programs available to help businesses that do to suffer what if we suffer a 50% decrease in revenue for a 2-month period, or, you know? But basically, that's just some of the questions I have. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Vincent. I'll address some of those for you. I know you and I spoke last week, and
Right.
I'm one of those 55-plus customers you have, but excuse us. You know, there's good and bad. We recognize where the good's gonna be is when they get it completed. You'll have that 3rd lane that fills that hole that's now where you are is 2-lane, which creates a nightmare to turn left anywhere on that road if you're going, you know, that direction. The good part is they've already relocated all the utilities, which is always the time-consuming part. Right now, and I spoke with them last week, because I also have concern, and Vincent, I told you this, and Chief Few and I are gonna have a meeting with them too, because, you know, we got fire station number 2 down there too, so we gotta make sure they have good access. The best part about it is from what they're telling us, and of course, weather, it's a 2-week project, because all they're doing is laying road bed, which is great. Now, I also know AlDOT, when they tell me it's a 2-week project, that means it's a 4-week project, typically. So if everything goes perfect, which I would love to tell you, but I have no control over AlDOT and the federal funding and the state funding to get that done, that's the best part, 2 weeks, I hope. You know, long term, the 3rd lane through there will help alleviate some of the accidents that's been on that road and the backups, because people trying to turn left across the oncoming traffic is just a nightmare, backs it all up, and it makes it worse. So that's the good part about it. It will be fixed, and unfortunately, it's the mark of a growing city. I don't know, y'all didn't get here in time, but you could hear all the projects that we've got going on in our city. This is not one I even talked about. This is not really our project, but it is part of a growing city. I did mention that we did have a meeting on the corridor management plan last week for 31 with the town of Loxley, AlDOT, MPO, City of Spanish Fort. Mr. Smith and Mr. Gutherson was at that meeting with me. And we've started the process of devising the corridor master plan for 31. Now, all that will do is identify where the road beds will go, where utilities are, so you can start developing a plan for widening 31 4-lane from 59 all the way down to 181. We all know ultimately that's where it's got to be. Unfortunately, we're at the hands of AlDOT and the feds, because it is a U.S. highway, and it's not something we have any control over, although we do speak with them about it. I know it's going to be a hardship. Hopefully it's short-term, and that's the best I can give you, Vincent, at this point. I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could just make it happen, but hopefully they're right with 2 weeks, but I wouldn't count on it. If that makes sense.
I mean, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be closer to 4 weeks on that part. I don't know, you know, maybe not, maybe it will be 2 weeks, but the main reason I'm here is, you know, I just wanted you guys to understand that it's not just like, long-term, I said it's great for us, but short-term, this in effect is a disaster for us. I mean, I think more so for our business than any other on 31. And, you know, I don't know what the city can do to provide for us as far as help through it, but, until it starts, but, you know, I may be back asking for some help some way or another to let people know how to get there, or, you know, whatever you guys can do to help us. I don't know.
They typically put message boards up for this time, indicating local businesses open and how to access them and those kind of things. So they do help with that. You know, I don't know of any assistant programs that I'm aware of with the feds or the state because your business is unique in that section. You really are the only retail business in that area. That and your ice business too. You probably gonna be hit harder than anybody else on that stretch, and I recognize that. All I can do is encourage the council to go up there to David's Catfish and eat some lunch and dinner, please, during this time. Let's help them out. Encourage, you know, we're on the web, we're on Facebook, or whatever the heck it is we're on out there. Everybody in the city, y'all, let's help our local folks continue in business and help them out through this tough time. I just encourage everyone to help you, and I wish I could do more than that.
Well, I appreciate the time, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir, and appreciate your partnership. He's been a great partner in our city. There's absolutely no doubt. He steps up, he helps the schools, he helps everybody involved, and he's helped us with Delta Woods and Mortar, and we appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Do we know if they're doing any of this work at night or weekends to?
We want to alleviate the roads, you know, closing one lane either way, because you got the work process. They're doing it all during the day, but.
Yeah, the news story said during the day, that the work would be done during the day.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right, under announcements, Congressman Jerry Curl has sent out a survey to Spanish Fork residents asking for feedback on our postal service. Please fill those out. Get online. We have hard copies here at City Hall. It's important that they hear when we have issues with the postal service. It's the only way we're ever going to get anywhere. As I mentioned to y'all, I've met with Congressman Moore. I guess it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and he's indicated a willingness to help us move this forward also. I will tell you, as city business, we had a bunch of public notices go out for some public hearing we had for our planning commission, and met with Carol Caldwell, our building permit clerk, excuse me, I couldn't think of it. And she had gotten back undeliverable at least 12 to 15 letters that were going out, which makes no sense to me how they could do that, but I told her to fill out a form and get it to the congressman quick. So I think I updated y'all. Congressman Carl did meet with the Postmaster General several weeks ago, and he indicated a willingness to try to help us with this. Congressman Moore's indicated he's indicated a willingness to try to get the zip code thing straightened out. So we got some forces working for us. I'm still dealing with a bureaucratic bunch of folks that do not answer to Congress, although they lose $8 billion a year and ask for the money from Congress. So y'all can figure that out, let me know, because I can't quite get there. The annual Spring Tidy the City event will be held this week, June 6th through the 9th at Spirit Park, directly across the street, Emily Francis Lane. The event provides for an opportunity for Spanish Fork residents to tidy the city by cleaning out accumulated items and clutter from around the house. 2 dumpsters will be placed in the gravel parking lot, and these are not your normal sized dumpsters. These are great big ones that we put over there, and they know that they may have to come empty them as time or as they're filled up. Items must be placed inside the dumpster, not in the surrounding area. Items not accepted include household garbage, tires, electronic items, and hazardous chemicals. Spanish Fort Public Library Summer Reading Program began June 1st. Information and registration for summer reading events go to Spanish Fort Public Library website. There are lots of exciting opportunities to read and fantastic events each week. And here's a subject that we just talked about. AlDOT announced the start of construction of the widening of US 31 to Baldwin County to add a center lane turn for motorists. Construction scheduled to begin Monday, June 3rd, and will primarily take place during the daytime hours. During lane closures, northbound US 31 will be directed to use Old Highway 31 as a detour to bypass the construction area. The rerouting the northbound 31 traffic is suspected to last a couple of weeks until widening efforts are completed. Southbound traffic will continue to use US 31 during construction. For updates and information on the project's progress, visit aldotnews.com and download the Algo app. So that may help y'all at least keep track of where it is and where it's going, and maybe give you a better clue about when it'll be over, if that helps. That's aldotnews.com. There's no old business. On the new business, we have a few public hearings tonight. The first one deals with our audits for the last fiscal year. We have Carly Cordy with the Aviso Group. Carly, if you'll please come forward and tell us how we made out last year. We got 3 audits. We'll have 3 different public hearings. We'll start with the City of Spanish Fort general purpose financial statements. Carly?
Hello again. The city received an unmodified opinion, which is the highest opinion you can receive. It was clean and we had no findings or issues. If y'all want me to, I know we already went over the numbers before, but if y'all want me to go over the numbers again, I will be happy to.
I need you to go over this page by page, Carly, and tell us. No, I'm teasing.
Okay.
No, I'm teasing. Any questions from the council before we open up the public hearing? Quickly, I mean, we're in good financial shape, and I'm just going to recap this. It does look like we got a lot of cash, but that's because we're sitting on some money that we're using for all these projects that we talked about in our work session. So don't get used to all that money sitting here, because it will be going out of here real quick and real soon. So we are blessed in a lot of ways. I know this is, I don't know how many years straight, I guess all 31 years straight, we've been in a situation where at the beginning I know it was lean and we didn't have much money and sold letterhead for stationery, but we've turned a corner with our partners in the city, including folks like David Catfish House and folks like that. Very proud about where we are. So any questions for Carly before we open up this public hearing? All right, public hearing is now open. If you'd like to address this, give us your name and address. Public hearing is now closed. Any discussion from the council? Do I have a motion to adopt the audit for the City of Spanish Fort?
I move that we approve the audit for the City of Spanish Fort.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner, Mayor.
Highway 181 also received an unmodified opinion, and we had no findings or issues. Any questions about Highway 181?
Any questions from the council? That center continues to do very well, and we're so blessed to have it out there. Here again, I'll open up the public hearing. Public hearing is now open. If you'd like to address this, please give us your name and address. Public hearing is now closed. Discussion from the council. I have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the audit for the Cooperative District of City of Spanish Fort Highway 181 Public Facilities.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner, Mayor.
The audit is adopted. Moving to the last public hearing we'll have on the Cooperative District, City of Spanish Fort Highway 98 Public Facilities. Carly?
Highway 98 also received an unmodified opinion, and there were no findings or issues.
Discussion from the council. We all know this facility has suffered a little bit. It's not a drain. It's not the city's responsibility for debts on that facility. It's the developers, so it's not affecting the city coffers. Although it does affect our city coffers because it does bring in sales tax revenues and ad valorem revenues for the city. I do see good things happening there. As this council is very aware, will very soon be the proud owner of a pavilion area, a playground, splash pads, and a big green space that the city will be building pickleball courts there. We see that as synergies that will bring people into the center, which is what that center needs. So I do see it turning the corner with the help of the city and our investment in that facility to move it forward. So very proud. While the numbers are not exactly dazzling, I see good things happening there. So that's my 2 cents on that. Any discussion from the council? Open up public hearing. Public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion from the council?
Motion to approve the audit for the Cooperative District, City of Spanish Fort, Highway 98 Public Facilities.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner, Mayor.
Yes, the audit is adopted. Carly, thank you so much. Becky, thank you and your staff, Nita, Kim, really everyone, because everybody has a piece in this, even down to the public works that correctly code things to make sure we get them in the right brackets. So thank you all. Thank you, Carly. Appreciate your work. I'd like to present ordinance number 668, 2024, an ordinance granting a non-exclusive franchise to Mediacom Southeast LLC for the purpose of maintaining distribution lines for the provision of cable television within the public rights-of-ways of the city of Spanish Fort. David?
Mayor, Mediacom presently has a franchise within the corporate limits of the city of Spanish Fort and provides cable television services inside the corporate limits of the city. They have asked for an extension and/or renewal of their franchise and have presented a new franchise agreement for consideration by the city. As we discussed in work session, we are presently in negotiations with at least 2 cable providers and some other fiber optics providers regarding the use of the rights-of-ways of the city to provide services. And we are in the process of trying to come up with a standard ordinance or franchise to address telecommunications and cable as best we can. So based on our discussions in the work session, we ask this item be postponed to a subsequent meeting for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council. As Mr. Connor mentions, a couple items on our agenda, orders number 670 also, which will be handled the same way, but until we get the thing fine-tuned and how we want it tweaked, we're going to hold this on for a future agendas. Any further discussion? Moving on to orders number 669, 2024, an ordinance establishing rules for Loyalty Park in the city of Spanish Fort, Alabama. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, Loyalty Park will be the first dog park for the city of Spanish Fort. The Planning Commission has approved the proposed site plan for the site, and the project is moving forward. As you have done with every other park in the city, you have this ordinance would establish rules and regulations for Loyalty Park. The first Section 1A, general rules and regulations, are consistent with the rules and regulations that you have at every other park, including spirit, integrity, etc. But because this is a dog park, of course, dogs will be allowed, and there's a special provision section for dog park rules that addresses how owners are to handle their animals and dogs, and how they are to be utilized the park, including things like cleaning up after yourself, dealing with aggressive animals, size of animals, those kind of items.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? I have a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance number 669-2024.
Second?
Discussion? Somebody asked that?
The dog park will be.
Oh, okay, dog park will be on Wayside Drive, right off of Wayside Drive on Huckleberry Lane, backing up to the south side of Spirit Park right there. It's a 5-acre tract of land back there, very shaded, wooded, nice level piece of property, which we don't find very often in this city. It is ready to move forward. We're waiting the geotech work to be completed, which should be completed just any day now. And as soon as that's done, we go to bid and start to work on it. It's been a long time coming. Loyalty Park seems like the appropriate name for a dog park. As most of y'all know, we name our parks after virtues, and that seemed like the perfect one for a dog park. So anxious to get that done. We went through a few changes in this park layout. We expanded it, almost doubled the size of it to make sure we have big and small dogs and have adequate room for everybody. There'll be a pavilion area out there for the owners of the animals to sit down and enjoy the pretty view and the shade. So any other discussion on that item?
Just for anybody that might be listening online and so forth, this is a good example of something was brought to us by, I mean, we didn't think of it. I remember when we were still having meetings in the conference room. Was it in the conference room or at the old facility? Anyway, it's been many years ago that someone first brought the idea for us, or to us, and we looked for the right property to do it, and tried to get it worked into the budget a few years. Anyway, it took some time, but it's a good example of something that came to us as a request from citizens and finally got done. So bring your ideas.
There are a lot of ideas out there, because I personally have spoken to a lot of people when doing research on this, and so I'm really happy with how ours is going to turn out. I think it really blends the best of all of the dog parks in the area. So I think it's going to be a facility that citizens are really happy with.
Anyone else? Okay, moving to ordinance number 6.
Have to vote.
I thought we already voted. I'm sorry, I already wrote down what I thought the vote was gonna be. That's why I wrote it down. Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
J.R. Smith.
Yes.
Brabner. Yes. Mayor.
I was right.
I thought, I was
Yes.
gonna say, I thought that you.
Okay. All right, now, moving to ordinance number 670, 2024, we'll have a public hearing on this. An ordinance granting a non-exclusive franchise to Comcast Alabama LLC for the purpose of maintaining distribution lines for the provision of cable television in the public rights of way within the city of Spanish Fort. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, we've been in negotiation with representatives from Comcast regarding the provision of cable television service within the city. At present, they do not have any lines in the corporate limits, but are looking to expand into Baldwin County. We have a few items that still need to be addressed, and they would like to have time for their council to review as well. So we have a public hearing that's set for tonight, but we would request that you postpone action on this item and the public hearing to a subsequent meeting. However, if there's someone that's here to speak, of course, you have the prerogative to listen to that, but we would suggest that you postpone the public hearing and action on this item to a subsequent meeting.
Well, there's nothing to keep us from having 2 public hearings, so I'm gonna open up this public hearing just in case there is anybody here to discuss that and make it simpler to me.
Okay.
Is that all right with you, Mr. Connor?
Yes, sir. Just to know that this is unofficial, and we'll have the official public
Right.
hearing again.
Correct. We'll have another public hearing. So, any discussion from the council? Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is now closed. Any further discussion from the council? This will be on your June 17th agenda. along with the MediaCom one. Moving to ordinance number 671, 2024, an ordinance amending ordinance number 5196 of the city of Spanish Fort, establishing zoning classification of certain property as B2 local business district. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed pre-zoning request to annex some property and zone property along County Road 40, just off of Highway 225, that's adjacent to the corporate limits of the city. The Planning Commission heard this application and forwards a positive recommendation for this pre-zoning request. However, we did discover that there was some additional property that was not described in the legal description posted along with the notice. And so this item will be sent back to the Planning Commission for a follow-up public hearing, and the plan is to have that on the Planning Commission agenda's meeting Monday night.
So since we advertise this as a public hearing, we're having a public hearing on this item tonight, and we'll have additional ones down the road. Discussion from the council. Public hearing is now open. I love hitting that gavel. Public hearing is now closed. Discussion. This will be on a future agenda. Would it be on the 17th agenda, David? Will it make it that quick through the Planning Commission?
We would have to give notice after it's reported out. It won't be 15 days on that day.
It won't make the 17th agenda.
It'll be the July.
It will be on the agenda, but no public hearing.
Okay. All right, moving to resolution 1409, 2023, a resolution amending the personnel manual of the city of Spanish Fort. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed amendment to the personnel manual to authorize certain appointed employees to use city vehicles for transportation to and from their residence. Presently, there's a limitation for 30 miles for regular employees, but this would authorize certain appointed positions to have more than 30 miles to their residence if it is determined by the mayor that it is in the best interest of the city to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to adopt Resolution 1409, 2024.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner. Mayor.
Yes, the resolution is adopted. I'd like to present Resolution 1410, 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for services between the city of Spanish Fort and Unity Fiber. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed contract for services with Unity Fiber to provide 50 megabytes per second internet fiber optic line to the Spanish Fort Police Department for connection with the Fairhope Police Department for the purpose of communicating with Baldwin County 911, and also for the purpose of allowing the required necessary capacity for dispatching with the police department. A copy of the proposal is attached as an exhibit, and it will be a monthly charge of $445 a month.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion we approve Resolution 1410, 2024.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner. Mayor.
$1411, 2024, a resolution amending the personnel manual of the city of Spanish Fort. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed amendment to the personnel manual to address disciplinary and discharge procedures. This amendment in Section 10 of Section 9, disciplinary and discharge, D10 and 11, would state that the employee has an obligation and responsibility to make sure the city has valid contact information, including email address and telephone number. In the event that the city is unable to locate the employee, or the employee fails to cooperate with attempts to locate or communicate, then the disciplinary notices or other communications can be sent by email or text message. In addition, number 11, it states that if an employee fails to attend or be on time for a full disciplinary hearing, pre-disciplinary hearing or an appeal of that matter, then the employee waives the right to proceed or follow an appeal under the procedure. And then also Section 9, Disciplinary Discharge D6, is being amended to place a time frame within which an employee must request a full disciplinary hearing. The procedure is that a pre-disciplinary hearing is held based on a request from a department head or supervisor. If the mayor that has the pre-disciplinary hearing determines that the disciplinary should be imposed, then the employee has 3 working days from the receipt of that determination to request a full disciplinary hearing. That would be held by the hearing officer, and the employees would be allowed to present evidence either for or against their position, as well as the supervisor. That meeting would be held within 48, not less than 48, no more than 10 hours. And then the procedure used to be that the employee had to consent or request to a continuance, but this changes and allows for the mayor to grant a continuance or an expansion of that time if deemed necessary for the city.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? Here
How
again,
is-
I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
How is information like this given to the employees? I mean, do they have an employee manual? Is there a manual online? How do they know that this change has gone into effect?
They're given an employee manual to begin, and then we periodically will have personnel meetings where we alert them. I would think we would post this also in our break room and places like that. Becky?
We email it to all the department heads to distribute to their department as the amendments happen. We don't necessarily post it in the break room because of space, but we do keep the employees informed when amendments happen.
Okay.
Any other discussion on this item? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1411-2024.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner, Mayor.
Yes, the resolution is adopted. I'd like to present Resolution 1413, 2024, a resolution appointing members to the City of Spanish Fort Junior Council. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed resolution to appoint the new members to the Spanish Fort Junior City Council. The city received applications, and the City Council conducted interviews within the last week or so, and the following individuals are being appointed to serve as members of the Spanish Fort Junior City Council until May 31, 2025. And that is Luke Beal, Haley Few, Krista Hoffman, Anna K. Rigby, Allison Robinson, Darby Smith, and Adrian Vickers.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to adopt Resolution 1413, 2024.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith,
Yes.
Gustafson,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
J.R. Smith,
Yes.
Brabner, Mayor.
Yes, the resolution is adopted. I'd like to present Resolution 1414, 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Sunset Contracting, Inc. for repairs at Mendota Drive. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this resolution would authorize a contract with Sunset Contracting, Inc. in the amount of $5,800 to install a concrete flume in an existing weir inlet on the right-of-way located at 33850 Mendota Drive. A copy of the proposal is attached as Exhibit 1, again in the amount of $5,800.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? This is the first reading and will be on your June 17th agenda. I'd like to present Resolution 1415, 2024, a resolution amending the employee pay classification guidelines. Mr. Connor?
This is a proposed amendment to the pay classification guidelines to establish 2 new positions and assign grades. One of those is Senior Center Administrative Assistant and Director of Marketing and Director of Senior Services. This establishes the pay grade for those positions. This does not amend or change in any way the pay classification schedule for the police or the fire department, which are separate.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council? It's part of an evolution as we grow. We add positions, we add people, we change duties, and of course, the most famous thing we have, and any other duties assigned by the mayor. So that's sort of the catch-all all the way we have here. First reading will be on your June 17th agenda. I'd like to present Resolution 1416, 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Emergency Networking for cloud-based EMS and fire reporting software. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a resolution to approve a proposed agreement with the Fire Department and Emergency Networking for the provision of cloud-based fire reporting software. This information and data will be generated by the fire department. All their data will be stored on this software platform and will be housed and maintained on the cloud. A copy of the proposal is attached, and the total cost of the first year is $9,145, which includes startup, setting up the information, and then there's an annual fee of, have to help me out there, looks like about $4,745. That'll be on an annual basis after the one-time fees right here.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. I know there's several questions on this, and I believe you and Chief Few will get together. This is the first reading on this. Will be on your June 17th agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, moving to Resolution 1417, 2024, a resolution disposing of surplus property. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, the Code of Alabama, it places the city council in charge of and authorizes the mayor, the municipal governing body, to dispose of unneeded property pursuant to Alabama Code Section 11-43-56. The city has one 2008 Ford Expedition, which is no longer needed for public purposes, and this authorizes the mayor and city clerk to dispose of that vehicle in the best manner seen fit. It's my understanding that this is a vehicle from the fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council. This first reading will be on your June 17th agenda, so if you want to buy it, you know, after the 17th, it's got 300,000 easy miles on it, so it would be available for the right price. Moving to Resolution 1418, 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with CitizenServe. Mr. Connor?
Mayor, this is a proposed agreement with CitizenServe to assist in the implementation of the business license software and conversion of the existing business license data to the new program adopted by the city related to business licenses. The order form is attached, and it's in the amount of $15,500, which is a one-time payment. This is also subject to the master agreement that the city has with CitizenServe for other services that you have already acquired and are receiving from CitizenServe.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Discussion from the council. This is another step to moving us to ordinance that we passed last meeting, before, forgot exactly when it was, converting our business licenses to gross receipts versus a flat fee. We're, if not the only city in the state, we're certainly one of two. I don't think anybody ever really figured out who the other one was, but it is something that's needed, and this council's talked about this at great length. Any further discussion on this? We are. Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Kurt Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
J.R. Smith.
Yes.
Brabner. Mayor.
Yes. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 1418, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kurt Smith.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the resolution is adopted. Any other business come for the council? Do I have a motion to adjourn?